Peace, light, and light. So today's reading from Letting Go by Melody Beattie is about growth. So, just as when we were children and grew out of favorite toys and clothes, we sometimes grow out of things as adults. People, jobs, homes, this can be confusing. We may wonder why someone or something that was so special and important to us last year doesn't fit the same way in our life today. We may wonder why our feelings have changed. And I have to add why other people's feelings have changed as well. When we were children, we may have tried to fit into an outgrown article of clothing onto our body. Now as adults, we may go through a time of trying to force fit attitudes that we have outgrown. We may need to do this to give ourselves time to realize the truth. What worked last year, what was so important and special to us in times past, doesn't work anymore because we've changed, we've grown, hopefully. We can accept this as a valid and important part of recovery. We can let ourselves go through experimentation and grief as we struggle to make something fit, trying to figure out if indeed it no longer fits and why. We can explore our feelings and thoughts around what has happened. Then we can put last year's toys away and make room for the new. Today, last year's toys be what they were, last year's toys. I will remember them with fondness for the part they played in my life. Then I will put them away and make room for the new. So I think it's very important as we start the new Gregorian year, 2019, to realize that one of the beautiful things about New Year is that it's a new beginning. And there's the saying, every day a new beginning, but it really is like that, isn't it? Every day when we wake up, we have an opportunity to start new, to not go through the same patterns. And we tend to be on automatic pilots and just function in the same old patterns. But then one day we wake up and we realize we don't have to. We can change and we can start new. We can take the old things we don't want, put them away, not in the attic, but just put them out in the streets. And Tel Aviv, if you've been to Tel Aviv, you know, it's one of those cities where you could just put things in the street and within minutes somebody will come and take it. It's just gone. So one person's garbage is another person's treasure. Maybe you have a book you finished reading. Maybe you have shoes that don't fit you anymore, but somebody else can use them. Maybe you have clothes that don't fit you anymore, but they will fit other people you don't like. So I think it's wonderful, this exchange. It's just, for me, was like a new idea after living in Europe where you're not allowed to put things outside in the street. There's boxes for everything, everything is sorted out. Here in Tel Aviv, it's more free. Most days it doesn't rain, like today is a very heavy rain. Heavy rain, puddles and puddles. I was splashed on the way here. And so, in fact, in Israel, in Tel Aviv especially, you could just put things outside and then somebody else will take them. And most days it doesn't rain, so there's no problem to put out things. And it's interesting how this process of letting go is practiced by actually taking something. I'm going to do it as soon as the rain stops. I'm going to do it also. Take something you don't need, you don't want anymore in your life that's cluttering, and put it outside. There's in the benches there are boxes, it's called giving boxes, and you just put it there. Anyone can just come and take it. It's open, and that's what I like. You just put it there, and somebody comes and takes it. Some days you're a giver, some days you're a taker. I love books, so it's very hard for me not to take books. I say, don't take those books, you have enough. but we have to see the balance. Are we giving and take, the give and take balance? And people that have cluttered homes usually don't have a balance with giving and taking. It's an indication. You know, I've seen yesterday, we have some homeless people. I don't know if they're completely homeless. I think they have a place to sleep, but they have these shopping carts. And you may have seen them in the United States. I've never seen them in Europe. They have a big shopping cart like you have in a supermarket, and they load it with things. And you'd be surprised, like you watch it, it's like an art show. It's tons of things there, tons. You know, and that's anything from clothes to food to whatever. They just pick up everything. And maybe that reflects a certain mindset where they cling to things. And they do it in such an excessive way because of the disturbance in the balance between giving and taking. And they just cling to things and take, wherever they go, they take all their belongings. And it's interesting, I always wonder why they do that, why they need to take that. And I think it has to do with security, feeling secure. Those objects make them feel secure. They feel a lack of security, so they take everything with them. It has to do with this sort of paranoid way of thinking that you can't leave anything behind and you have to be on the road constantly. Maybe not so paranoid, but practical. They don't seem to be able to settle anywhere, so they take everything with them. It's a lack of security for sure. It's a lack of home, feeling home. And home is actually psychological. It's a psychological phenomenon. Home is where the heart is, they say. But home is a physical place where you live, where you feel safe. And for some people, because of their traumas and because of their life experiences, and also because of some deep emotional, subjective experience that cannot be defined, they do not feel safe. They do not have a place where they feel safe. They constantly feel bombarded with thoughts that something bad can happen. So they're always on the go. They're sitting down. I see there's one guy, he's Russian, and he sits and he drinks vodka. One time I talked to him and he told me that his wife kicked him out of their house. He has a very large house and children, and wife and children, and his wife kicked him out. So I don't know what the truth is there, but he definitely does spend his time with his shopping cart, sitting, self-medicating, some may call in a nice way, but he's just drinking from a vodka, and he's like in a low energy, just sitting there on the bench with his big cart, shopping cart full of things. And I think one time I gave him a mattress I had, like a thin mattress. I think he told me he sleeps in the backyard of someone's home. I don't know. There are definitely homeless shelters here. But I talked to one homeless person I met. I didn't know she was homeless. I volunteered to serve a meal, and a woman who was transgender. It was in the LGBT center in Tel Aviv, and a transgender came to me, and she said to me that she has nowhere to live, and she asked if she could keep her stuff. And I had to set boundaries because I have a very small place. I don't know this person, and I didn't feel safe letting him in my home. And she sounded very desperate, but I knew, I made a phone call, and I knew there are places where she could have slept, but she just chose not to. And I didn't want that in my, I didn't want to let her chaos in my life, because it's my home, is my castle, it's my private place, it's where it's for me and my family and our pets, and I don't have a place to take in a person who has issues I don't know anything about. I don't know if I can help them, and I cannot. If I had a large house, maybe, but I just can't take that upon myself. I really love helping people, so I volunteered to help serve a meal, a holiday meal there, and I'm very happy to help people. I enjoy it. It's the most fulfilling thing you can do is to volunteer every now and then, especially during the holiday season. If you can volunteer at a homeless shelter, soup food is the easiest actually, because it's very well defined. You do kitchen work, you stand there with a ladle, and you just give soup, give food. I did that also in New York, in the yoga center, Shivananda, one Christmas, and it's very fulfilling, because you're giving, and people are really happy. People that don't have families or cannot go to their families in a crises. So there's one thing, volunteering to help them in a place. Another matter to let them in your home, which is it's a safety issue, because you don't know these people, you know their issues, and it's difficult to let in a person. It's easier to let in an animal because you can control it more or less, a little kitten or a puppy. Also, that's an issue. I remember when I first adopted my Shosha, I was really scared of her. She was full of anger. She was obviously traumatized and being passed like a parcel from one home to another. She had 3 different ID tags, 3 different names. Duba, Lola, Shosha, and those are the official ones. And then she was in foster care, dog foster care, going from one place to another, and in between that, in dog shelters where they just throw the food and she has to fight for the food. She was starving. Every time she saw food, she just devoured it. My daughter had a box of cookies. She just ate the whole thing with the package. It wasn't a box, it was like a sort of roll of cookies, chocolate cookies. She just ate the whole thing. When I took her to the dog beach, she just went for the garbage and ate it like she's never seen food before. So obviously she's been in difficult times. So I was scared of her. So I don't have a large place. I had a little place. I put in this mattress, and blanket, and I didn't let her in my room. And it took a month until I felt safe enough to take off. She had a little string, took it off, and get closer to her gradually. My other dog was definitely keeping a distance, and this was almost 2 years ago. Oh my God, how time passes. She still has some issues, and now I remind myself that our brain stores so much trauma, and good experience as well as traumas, and dogs as well as people sometimes express it in nonverbal ways, just by, she sometimes growls and gets very upset and vicious because all of a sudden things come up for her. And whether it's competition over food, whether she feels hungry, whether she feels threatened by the other dog, whether she wants to play, she comes and she does this with her paw, desperate to play. She's a very playful dog. She's going to be 12 this year, but I took her when she was 10, but she loves to play. She's a real Labrador and she loves to fetch things. So what I wanted to say about the topic that we were discussing is that animals too have a lot of traumas which they need to learn to let go. And what they do is, when you give them love and security, they learn to let go of all those patterns, unhealthy patterns like attacking, being vicious, competing for food. And I find that when you see somebody pushing in line, think about it. Try to imagine them as a dog or a cat, and they're pushing in front of other dogs and cats. Why would they do it? It's because those people, usually aggressive behavior comes from a feeling of insecurity. And aggression comes from a feeling of insecurity. And once you understand that, you need to do 2 things. 1, protect yourself, safeguard yourself, surround yourself, take distance, be careful. If you want to help the person, very small steps. Maybe seek the help of a professional, whether it's an animal or a person in distress. And remember, baby steps, step by step. Don't have to achieve your goal in one day. It's not possible. Small little step towards the goal of building trust, or building a secure environment for either a person or pets. So animals and people are very much alike in the sense of needing to feel secure in the environment, needing to feel clarity and consistency, knowing that this home will always be there. Just remember, I always said to Shosha, Shosha, where do you live, Shosha? Efrat Gara, where do you live? I would say in Hebrew, she's an Israeli dog. Where do you live? And just as she went up the steps, said, this is your home, Shosha, this is your home. And I think I need to do it more, because she is showing signs of distress in the evening, especially when it's time to settle down. She becomes very anxious and very hungry. And I used to give her treats, and now she's on a strict diet because she's gained a lot of weight. I try to love her through food, and that's not right because she can have health issues. Anyway, I wish all of you a wonderful holiday season, and remember, as we start a new Gregorian year, to let go of the old things that you don't need. And there's a saying that when you let go of the old, new things can come in. It sort of works in physics as well. When you let go of the old, there's space for the new. The Zen story of the man who comes to the teacher and he gives them a cup of tea that's full. And he says, in order to learn, you have to empty the cup. Because when you're full of everything and you have so much stuff going on, there's no place for new things to come into your life. And as much as we like to have our things and our security, in order to grow, we need to let in, to make space for new things to come in, so we can grow in new places and let go of things that are old and no longer serve us. And feelings we no longer need. We don't need to be defensive. We don't need to be angry when we're in a place of security. So I wish for all of you to find a home in your heart, to be in a place of security, and to build that secure place from the inside, because that's where the security comes. Of course, it has to do with the surrounding as well, but once you know, you can trust the people you're around, and you can trust yourself. You can trust yourself to let in the good things and protect yourself from the things that are not positive, that you don't want to come in your life. Once you feel secure with yourself, you will feel better with other people and your surrounding as well. So let go of the old bad habits, and try slowly trust in the process of growing new ways, new habits towards peace, light, and lots of love in your life. Thank you for listening and subscribing to my channel. Please comment down below if you have anything. If you want to give me a like, it's fine. I'm perfectly happy just that you listen. And if you have anything to add about the topic of old and new, letting go of old things towards the new year, what are things or habits you want to let go of in the coming year? And what new habits do you want to have in the new year? Please comment down below. For me, I'm looking forward to starting a new position. I'm looking forward to learning, to participating in a learning program for myself. And I'm hoping that my teaching will always be growing towards enhancing the learners and making this world a better place for me and for other people. Again, peace, light, and love. Thank you.